What's up, y'all? Happy Friday. Now, you may want to sit down for this video I'm about to show you and brace yourself for a second because it might anger some of you, especially to the black folks. Have you guys ever heard of the term banking while black? Well, apparently there was a brother who was waiting in his vehicle on the bank to open to conduct business because he has a bank account there. And suddenly, out of nowhere, a police officer approached his vehicle because the bank called the police on the brother. Like they so scared he gonna rob them. Take a look.
If they called and concerned that you're just sitting here and not really doing anything.
I'm sorry, I gotta get this on video. The bank called and said that they concerned that I'm sitting here waiting for them to open up.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy. Tampa is out of control, man. But it's another guy sitting.
Are you doing business here?
Hell yes, I'm doing. This is my bank.
Okay, are you gonna go inside?
Yeah, as soon as they're open, they open up at 9 o'clock. I can't believe they called you for real.
I swear to God.
That's crazy, man. That is crazy.
So you're just waiting for the bank to open?
Hell yes. I got too much stuff to do at the bank. Too much stuff to do. Place of business.
All right.
That's crazy though. They called you over here.
They said you had alcohol and whatever. So I don't know if they saw you Red Bull as your alcohol. I don't know. So you gotta understand it's a bank and people hanging out in the bank parking lot makes me a little nervous.
Makes him nervous. A person's out here waiting for the bank to open at 9 o'clock.
Well, you gotta understand people rob people coming in and out of the banks. That's an issue, right? You understand?
They don't even. The employees don't even. They can't even afford what I have. So
Well,
how would I look like I'm trying to rob
What do
somebody?
you got that's so expensive? I'm just curious. What do you do for a living? What do you got so expensive?
I'm an Airbnb in there.
An Airbnb in there?
Yes, that's right. Right, but they don't even drive the cars.
How many Airbnb you got?
They don't. A lot of them. They don't even drive the cars. They don't even live. So why would I look like I'm doing something wrong?
Because you're the only one sitting in the parking lot. In the back parking lot.
There's a guy right there sitting in front.
Yeah.
Right there. He's been waiting with me.
Oh, I didn't see. I can't see him from here, but
I
they
just
said blue Tesla. That's all they said.
Right. Come on. Like, and this is my bank. This is the only bank I come to do, like, and I'm coming to withdraw a lot of money.
All right.
That's crazy though. I couldn't believe it.
They were just concerned. That's why.
When I seen them walk by the first time, I was like,
Who walked by?
when the employees, because these are all their cars, and they were just coming by,
Yeah.
and they were like, kind of looking like, what is a black guy doing sitting here in front of the bank? What you think I'm casing the bank out?
It has nothing to do with race.
I mean,
Just an
absolutely.
individual sitting in the parking lot.
I'm from Tampa. I'm from Atlanta originally, so
So what does that mean?
when I came to Tampa and I seen like just how
What?
it's different,
What's different about it?
there's just a lot of prejudice.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
All right, bud.
yeah. No problem, man.
No
I appreciate.
problem. I'll let them know.
Yeah, let them know that I'm coming in to make a deposit, withdrawal, a big withdrawal. That's crazy.
No problem.
That's fucking crazy.
Now, if you listen carefully to the video that the brother was saying, he said, I was coming to make a withdrawal to conduct business. He's an Airbnb-inaire. And the cop didn't make it any better. He was being a real prick in the video. He kept egging him on, trying to push his buttons. He said, well, I'm from Atlanta. And he's like, well, what does that mean? He was like, well, you know, I heard things about Tampa. Tampa's very prejudiced. And he ain't lying. I mean, I'm just like this. Why do people feel the need to poke their nose in the business that does not mind them? Can you believe that? Like, it really startles me that the actual bank employees, and this is Chase Bank, by the way, that did this, in case you're wondering which bank it was. Chase Bank, yeah. The bank manager called the police, acting like they're so scared of the Negro in the parking lot waiting to conduct business with his bank. And I was just like, brother, if I was you, after that encounter with that rude cop who decided to be a prick early in the morning, I would politely withdraw every single cent that I got at Chase Bank and close them like a hot potato. I sure would. I wouldn't give them another lick or ounce of my precious business. If I was a real estate investor and I had Airbnbs like he mentioned in the video, I'm not doing business with you no more. No, lost my business. And this isn't the first time. There's plenty of incidents of banking while black, but it is a very true epidemic in America. Yeah, it happens quite often. People just don't talk about it. But this one happens to be very viral, by the way, with millions, and I'm talking millions of views on TikTok. And this is actually his video, as you could tell, that he shared that blew up. And the news even shared it. I was shocked. Tampa local news in Florida, they shared it. And they talked about it. But yeah, there's no excuse for this. It's just plain haterade, hating on a brother that got a little bit of change. And he wasn't sitting in it's in any vehicle. If you pay attention, he's sitting in a Tesla. So what, you mad because he got a little bit of pocket change for a rainy day and he's got a nice car? He's suspicious because he's black and he's conducting business with his own bank? Now he's a suspect because he's patiently waiting for the bank to open in the parking lot. He ain't bothering nobody. Like, you see how ugly this situation could have turned out to be. Accusing a brother of having alcohol in the car and being suspicious in the parking lot. Come on now. And a cop was just a jerk. He was like, well, you know, people are concerned because it is a bank and it's not normal to sit here. And the brother was like, but it's not just me. He's sitting in front of me. There's another person right there. He said he's been sitting here the same amount of time I've been sitting here. But it's because I'm black. And he said it. And then the cop tried to change his tune by saying, no, it's not because of race. Yeah, it is. Because I guarantee you, the other customer who was patiently waiting in the parking lot with the brother was probably a white person. They didn't have a problem with their ass. But when it's a black man waiting to do business with the bank, you want to call the police? What? This told me everything I needed to know. Florida, y'all ain't shit. Florida's crazy. And it does not surprise me at all that they would call the police on somebody black in the parking lot. It does not surprise me. And it's kind of like Texas. In certain parts where I come from, in my little hellhole town of 5,000 people, the police would probably be called on you too if you're black and you're banking. I would not be surprised. There's a lot of prejudice that goes on in my little town where I come from in little old LaGrange, Texas. You'd be surprised the encounters I've seen growing up with black people and white people in businesses. The dirty looks that they would give them, the stares like they're just criminals trying to cash their check from their job or trying to conduct business in the store or even in a doctor's office. You know, one thing I will never forget growing up as a child in my little town was the first-hand experience of racism that I personally saw. It wasn't against me. Oh no, it was against a family member of mine, specifically my grandmother. You see, my grandmother was a very dark chocolate black woman. And, you know, you see me, I'm light skinned. So they automatically look at her like, you know, oh, she's dark, she's black, you know, we don't want to touch her or whatever. And it pissed me off because when I was waiting with her, and I think it was my mother, and I think my sister, I can't remember who was all with my grandmother at the doctor's office, but this is the time when she was doing like some kind of hospital visits. I think at the time she was kind of sick. This is when she had like the tumors coming in. And on one of those doctor visits that she had, the doctor acted like he didn't want to touch my grandmother because of the color of her skin. Yeah. That's a very real sad thing, but it happens a lot back home where I come from, especially in the sticks, in the middle of nowhere. The place where she went to when she got like treatment done was in another hellhole town called Brenham, Texas, middle of nowhere. Just as small as my little town, if not any bigger. Probably about a little over 20,000 people or more. It's a college town. But yeah, fun fact, Brenham, Texas is the home of Bluebell ice cream. A lot of people don't know that. So a lot of your favorite Bluebell ice cream flavors, guess where it's coming from? Brenham, Texas, the middle of nowhere little rinky-dink town. Full of prejudice, I might add. Yeah. And a lot of mom and pop diners. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been called the N-word. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I've been through a lot of prejudice and racism as a child. You'd be surprised. Even my parents, I witnessed it firsthand. I'll never forget, I was a kid. I think I was like maybe, I don't know, 7, maybe 8 years old, almost 10. And at that time, when I was a kid growing up, I had like reddish brown hair, kind of like Chucky. My sister always teased me. I couldn't stand her when she would always tease me about my hair because I looked different from the other siblings. They had dark eyes and dark brown hair, black hair. I was the only kid with red hair and, you know, hazel eyes and light freckles, like a real pixie doll, you know? And I was in the grocery store. I believe I was with my mom or my dad. I can't remember who I was with. I want to say it was my dad. And I was, you know, just chilling in the basket or whatever. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was in the basket or I think I was walking. I can't remember. But anyway, we're walking around the grocery store, right? And he's just grabbing some things and white folks staring at him like, whose child did you kidnap? Because I was so light bright at the time. Like I was pale, like Michael Jackson white. I'm not joking. If I show you a younger photo of me, you wouldn't believe it's me, but yes, it's me. I got darker as I grew older. But yeah, people stared at my father and my mother sometimes and gave them dirty looks because my father and my mother are darker than me too. It's just hereditary. My father is chocolate. My mother is like somewhat caramel, a little bit shade darker than me. But yeah, people would legit stare at my parents when I was with them as a child, like, oh, this is your child? I thought you were the maid. What? Yeah, some old white lady thought my mom was a maid when she was with me one time as a kid in a candy store. And then one time, somebody thought my father was trying to snatch me because it was just like, whose white baby you snatch? What? And see, I didn't understand what was going on at the time until my father got buck on him and said, mind your business, get out my business before I smack you. I can't remember everything that he said, but whatever he said, them white folks scurried the hell off quickly in a hurry. But yeah, this is just a prime example of blatant racism. You know, we're in 2026. It's sadly not going away. You know, it doesn't matter what your status is. It doesn't matter how well you look. You see, this is a good looking brother in the video. He's very athletic. You could tell he works out. He looks healthy. He's tall. Good looking guy, you know, drives a fancy car and still yet had the police called on him for trying to conduct business in the bank where he banks at. It just goes to show you it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what you drive. Hell, it don't matter how much money you have. Just because of the color of your skin, that's what determines you as a threat. It's true. Very true. Because, you know, I come from the South. And, you know, people in the South, you know, they'll tell you straight up, you know, they'll call you the N-word like it ain't nothing. And keep on moving and pushing and grooving. And the sad part, what I can't stand to see are the older generation, you know, still thinking that, you know, they're in a slave mindset of, yes, a boss, no's a boss. Like, you'd be surprised how many older Black men and women I've seen in the country, and they still do it to this day, are so afraid of the white man They won't open their front door because it's a white person. And I get it. They're traumatized. There's a really big stigma between racism back home and, white people approaching, black people's, houses and stuff. And I'm pretty sure that they're trying to solicit something, or probably trying to drop off a package or something, but they would never open the door. My grandmother was one of them. Every time the white man came on, don't open that door. I don't know who that man is. I ain't opening that door. I don't know him. That's a white man. I ain't opening the door. And I said, Granny, this is the package man. It's the FedEx man. Don't open the door. It made me laugh, but now as I gotten older, I understand the fear in black folks at that time. I understand the trauma. You see, in our generation, of millennials and Gen Z, whatever you are, anywhere past baby boomer generation, people are numb to that. People will laugh at it now, but you have to think, at the times that these people were in, back in the day, people kept their head down and, took it. They didn't fight back. They couldn't fight back. They just had to keep it moving and keep pushing and keep, driving for the white man. But now we're in a different space where if you confront us with some silly shit, one, if you come across a hood ninja, you're either going to get your ass beat, or two, you're going to get sued. Because people love to sue the shit out of people. And this is why I tell people, be aware of your surroundings, especially as a black person. I cannot stress to you how important it is to be aware of your surroundings. It doesn't matter how fancy the place is. It doesn't matter how fancy the city is. As you could tell, the brother said that he was from Atlanta, but was doing business in Tampa, Florida. And Tampa is actually a really nice city. And he was at the bank, for crying out loud. He wasn't even in the hood. This should tell you something. I can see maybe if it was a bad neighborhood, okay, yeah, then maybe the police should be called. But you're at a place of business trying to conduct your own business, and yet someone still calls the cops on you because you're black. It pissed me off. I'll be honest. I was angry. It pissed me off because I said, how dare you come over here with this nonsense early in the morning at 9 o'clock while I'm waiting on the bank to open. And I'm glad the brother kept his cool. I'm very proud of the way he reacted, because that is a perfect reaction you want. What these cops want now these days is to want you to uprise. They want you to act a plumb fool so they can give you a reason to go to jail. But he wasn't going to give him a reason to go to jail. He was just like, I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm just conducting business. I have plenty of money. I'm an Airbnb in there. I have plenty of Airbnbs. But yeah, it just really breaks my heart to see that the times that we're living in, people still call the police on people simply because of their skin color. It breaks my heart. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. I mean, how would you react in this situation if you were in the brother's shoes and you're just banking while black, or not even black, hell, banking while Hispanic? Them too. They get the police called on them too. You'd be surprised. I've actually seen people call the police on Mexican people, and they would be doing yard work, landscape work for the white man, for something they got hired for, and people would be a Karen and still call the cops on them for no reason at all, just to start something. But yeah, let me know your thoughts below. What would you do in a situation? How would you react? I'm all ears. Yeah, but yeah, this is just a very valuable learning lesson, that always keep your eyes open. Always be aware of where you are, because you never know who's watching or who's going to call the police on your ass. But I'll holler at you guys.